Hello, Nakama, and welcome back to the Church of One Piece. I am your pastor, the One Piece apologist, and today's sermon is on chapter 45, Before the Storm. We are still on a break from the big adventures of Little Buggy, but have no fear. The cover story will be back next chapter. But until then, we also get this dope Oda Sensei artwork of our Straw Hats, just with all the swag and drip that you could possibly want. It's fantastic. And I like how Oda Sensei shows that Gin and Sanji both said, huh? At the same time to Luffy, saying like, oh yeah, that food saved your life. And also, you cook, you gotta join my crew. And they both said, huh, at the same time by having them share a speech bubble. I think that's kind of funny. Oh, Zeph used to be a pirate. No wonder he has a peg leg. Now it all makes sense. It's adding up. And of course, Luffy's like, yeah, Sanji, you gotta join my pirate crew and be my cook. And Sanji's like, I decline. And then Luffy's just like, well, I decline your declination. No. Once Luffy makes up his mind about something, that's how it's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. There's not much you can do about it. So Sanji, I think you're just going to have to give in and join his pirate crew. You don't have much choice in the matter. I'm sorry, bud. And then Sanji says he has a good reason that he can't leave, and Luffy's like actually willing to give it a listen, and Sanji won't even share it. No, you're coming with. Sorry. And then, of course, Gin is like, wait, sorry to interrupt your argument here, but you're doing what now? You're filming a pirate crew? You're gonna go to the Grand Line and get and try to go after the One Piece? Don't be crazy, dude. I was just part of a pirate armada that was like 50 crews together, and we went to the Grand Line. We got our asses handed to us. You are not ready for this. You can't do this, I mean, how many people do you even have in your crew? And Luffy's just like, this guy makes 5. And Sanji's just like, don't include me! I'm not like, I've told you, I'm not joining your crew. Stop trying to include me in your number. What are you doing? And then, so we do see Gin is, of course, terrified of the Grand Line, just like Gaimon. And, we'll have to see how does that play out for our crew. And we go back to the kitchen in the Baratier, and one of the cooks has this, like, scar mustache. It's a scar, but it looks like a mustache, kind of. It's just very funny. And I'm quite certain that Oda Sensei did not do that on accident. He was like, I'm going to draw this little scar on his face that looks like a mustache. Good on ya, Oda Sensei. And, so the cooks are discussing how Patty beat up that one guy who was from Krieg's pirate armada, and how that's very serious stuff, and ooh, scary, right? Don Krieg. So they're all worried about Don Krieg coming to attack the Baratier now. Carne in particular, he's one of the cooks, and he's just like, yeah, no, we're gonna get our butts kicked if Don Krieg and his armada show up. And Patty's just like, yeah, it's no problem, we're all super tough here and all that stuff. And then they start getting into a fight about it. And it gets a little hot in a kitchen full of fighting cooks, right? And so they start like getting into a tussle about it. And Zeph just shows up though and just back to work, and he immediately commands full respect. I feel like Zeph is like sort of a Gordon Ramsay no nonsense type, but with a braided mustache. Gordon Ramsay should think about a braided mustache. I think he might up his popularity rating. Who knows? And of course, Luffy's supposed to be paying off his debt by working for a year as a chore boy, but they send him to do dishes. All he does is break the dishes. They send him to bus tables. All he does is swipe food off of plates, and he's just not very helpful. He's not a good chore boy. And of course, Luffy's like, oh, doing chores is hard. Man, Kobe must have been miserable. Yeah, of course he was, but like, you gotta do them sometimes, man. And then, super funny, classic scene. Luffy is now supposed to be, like, waiting tables, since all the waiters did leave. And he goes out to wait tables, and lo and behold, his crew has decided to come dine at the Baratier. So Nami, Usopp, and Zoro are sitting there waiting for him, and they are laughing at him because he has to work for a year as a chore boy, and also he's jealous of them because they're eating without him, and you know how much Luffy likes to eat, and so they're eating at a special restaurant occasion thing without him. Oh, come on. And so he's upset, and when he thinks Zoro's not looking, he picks his nose and then wipes it in Zoro's glass, drops the booger in Zoro's glass, and he thinks it's going to be so good, Zoro's going to drink it. And then suddenly Zoro just grabs the glass, and he's like, "Why don't you drink it?" And he makes Luffy drink it, and suddenly Luffy's like, "Oh, gross! Oh, it's so gross!" And it's like, "It's your own booger, man. You reap what you sow, for sure." And of course, we finally get to see Sanji is a total flirt. It's just his nature. He's got a very passionate soul, and so he starts hitting on Nami immediately, and all that. And it's good times. It's good times. But so yeah, Sanji is flirting with Nami, and he's just like, "Oh, but Mademoiselle, there's obstacles between us that cannot be surpassed. It's so unfortunate, but I wish that I could just go with you and set sail with your crew, but I cannot. Our love has a wall between it," or whatever, you know. And Zeph hears this, and he just shows up, and he's like, "Well, if there's such a obstacle for you, why don't you just go with them? Follow your heart and go be a pirate. Whatever. We don't need you." And it's interesting. It is interesting. I'm curious to see where that particular plot thread goes. So then we cut over to Gin. He was fed by Sanji and then given a boat, and he sailed back away to where he came from, I guess. And he's gone back to the remnants of his crew that got decimated in the Grand Line. And now it seems he's back at his boss, Don Krieg, and he's just like, "Oh my gosh, it seems like you're all in terrible shape too. Let me take you to the Baratier." And we'll have to find out what happens and what Don Krieg coming to the Baratier means for all of our favorite characters. Well, until then, this has been the review for Chapter 45, Before the Storm, as in the calm before. And as always, One Piece be with you.